What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 33 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as you saw last time, we got a nice little battle with the horrors, and primarily horrors making up the entire stack against a relatively more elite stack of Khemri, wherein we destroyed the enemy at the cost of, 14 units of blue horrors? 13? Something along those lines. Of course, the blue horror losses were inconsequential, and it was a pretty fun battle, and I'm still pretty happy about it. Next up, we will hopefully take Qatar, and then we won't need Iber to babysit this area at all. In fact, we moved him down here thinking that we need him to deal with those enemies, but now it doesn't seem to be the case. I suppose the question will be whether we move him to help Kairos, or, meet up with Kairos by attacking from a different direction, or we just move him north to try to deal with something up here. It's not like Garrulus can handle all of the stuff going on north of us, but I guess we shall see later on. Now, the first thing that we want to do is either attack here with Kairos at El Haik, which we could certainly do. And in fact, most of this stuff is very much susceptible to Kairos killing everything. Or, in the alternative, we try to do the same thing at the Citadel of Dusk. Although I am tempted to try to siege the Citadel of Dusk instead and see if we can get them to sally out. I really doubt... Yeah, they're not going to sally out of Al Haik. There's just no way. Simply because the Auto Resolve already says we'll win like this. So there's no real need to do it. Whereas the Citadel of Dusk Elves may. So you know what? Yeah, let's try that out. Let's siege them for a little bit. We'll see how the how these guys all react, and we still did force them to fight the Hunts Marshal's expedition, though they are moving armies down here, which means they're not as distracted as we'd probably like them to be. I do, however, want to preserve the units here as much as possible. Actually, out of curiosity, are we able to use open gates on a place that's already under siege? Like, if we do this... Yeah, we can. So if these guys don't... Yeah, okay, I like this idea. Basically, either these guys attack us in the field, or if they do not, we simply open the gates. Alrighty, well, just in case they attack us in the field, let's get some points in here. You have Chaos Warriors, but because you're not a... you are not a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, you don't have good level ups for them. We could level up the Fires and the Pink Horrors, the Flamers and the Pink Horrors via many-colored... Wait. Myriad Servants, well, I guess you have a Cursed Horrors to level up the Horrors. We could get the many-colored Fires, which only would benefit you two, which isn't much. But what else would we get in here? Riders of Change isn't that much of a buff. And the range is, frankly, while only 10%, still probably needed on the Flamers when we're using them. Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it. Let's go for many-colored Fires, unless we want to do something with spells instead. Maybe that's the better thing to do. You know what, we use Infernal Gateway quite a lot, and Tzeentch's Firestorm, so maybe that's the way we do it. Let's put 1 point in Firestorm, let's get Earthing. Just in case, because we use a lot of Pink Fire's Overcast. Alrighty, and then let's get you leveled up as well. You're staying on your disc, no more Burning Chariots for me. Magical Reserves, Earthing, and I doubt we'll be using Final Transmutation. We could get another point in Glittering Robe, actually, which is always useful. Like so. Alrighty, then we need to declare war on these guys, presumably, which will mean war against several other factions, but I doubt we'll be seeing them anytime soon, as they have Nakari to contend with on Ulthuan. So we're just gonna straight up declare war. And the Exiles of Khorne will join us, of course, because they're our vassal. Here we go. The main reason I want to fight these guys is just so that they're not they're not gonna sally out, there's no way. Alrighty, well, I guess we can build... you know, a couple siege towers wouldn't be amiss here, then. And we can open the gates, then we wouldn't need rams. So we just need siege towers. Too bad we can't build more than one per turn, but that's okay. Let's get War Banner on... You know what, let's do this and that. Yeah, I like that more. Continue siege, please. And actually, I just want to quickly check your banners. What do we have available? Nothing. Yeah, I keep forgetting how garbage our magical items are and our ancillaries are. Why do we have so little? I don't know. You can get, though, let's see, is Ancient Familiar, anything useful here? Wait, you don't have a Mythomaniac. Wait, are you telling me we're out of Mythomaniacs? We are out of Mythomaniacs. Well, that's just unfortunate. I can get you a Lichbone Pennant, but I don't see why. I guess we could make you more resistant to spells. It's something. It's at least something. Alright, I guess that's the way we're gonna do it. And actually, just to double check, I took everything from Kronos last time, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, it looks like I did. Okie dokie. Wait, we should probably try to give you an armor of some kind. Forbidden Rod, Torment Blade, do we even have any armor? We can give you a Gambler's armor. Shield of Talos helps with the missile resistance, which is also something you're vulnerable to. In fact, I kind of regret not giving you an extra point in that, but... You know what? 8 ward save is just as good, and in fact is better, so yeah. Sword of Striking can be replaced by something better, like the Fencer's Blades. I don't really want to use you in melee, but we may have to. So let's get your Fencer's Blades for now, though I may swap that out later. Potion of Strength, probably fine as it is. And who has the Brass Cleaver again? Lucar the Indecisive. Okay, that's fine. Casting item... Do we even have any casting items that we could give you? Alas, it doesn't look like we do. Alright, well, I guess you can keep that. You know what? Maybe you have the Potion of Toughness. You get a minor amount of healing. At least it'll be something. And then no casting item. There we go. A little bit stronger this way. And then either they sally out, which they won't, or we open the gates and then attack them next turn with a Siege Tower available. I like that. Now, Iber Rune Smasher, you cannot move, and all of you have skill points, but you know what, I don't think we care about those right now. Let's do a quick fight with Kairos. I guess we'll do this cinematically, because there is a full stack, though I don't think they stand much of a chance. Once again, I've been surprised before, so let's do this. Let's see how much Kairos can kill, and then send in the rest of our units to clean up.
Of their existence.
Alright, well, here we go. These guys shouldn't be all that threatening. I mean, they don't have Ushabti with Great Bow, which would be the biggest threat towards our flying units, in particular Terratus's replacement, but obviously also the Screamers and the Doom Knights. Now we're going to start this off not only by taking the walls, but to have Kairos bombard the enemy artillery pieces and destroy them. Actually doing quite well, and it seems that every single shot of blue fires essentially destroys a piece of artillery. Otherwise, we are going to keep using our flyers to kill any isolated units that we can find, but the rest of our army can just approach and start moving through. Gate should fall fairly easily, and obviously Kairos is already dishing out massive amounts of damage. 3 units already basically destroyed. It looks like the Screaming Skull Catapult is melting, and more enemies should follow suit as our Pink Horrors start hosing them down with fires as well. Kairos is also going to start working on that Tomb Scorpion, which I think is probably the biggest threat on the field that remains. There are still Necropolis Knights and Sepulchral Stalkers, but this is obviously the most annoying thing because it has that animation where it moves through your stuff. Anyway, the Gaze of Fate slows it down and prevents it from moving, while Kairos puts it down to half HP with blue fire spam, while the Pink Horrors have nearly killed the Skeleton Archers and have already forced them to crumble. The Gate is also already being worked on, is now down to 1/6 of its HP, and she'll be done for shortly, and Kairos continues annihilating enemy units. Over in the background, we can see that our aerial units are hovering overhead looking for a target that is relatively isolated, and well, there's a unit of Necropolis Knights back here, there's a unit of Skeleton Archers completely unsupported back here, so I think they're all going to have a very bad day shortly. Looks like the Tomb Scorpion is just about done as well, and I do believe it's crumbling. And down it goes. What the heck was that aimed at? Huh. I was like, wait a second, where was all that going? Maybe it was trying to lead the Tomb Scorpion, or maybe it was trying to lead the Nehekara warriors here. I have absolutely no idea. Not that it's going to matter that much. And look at our pink horrors go. They're doing pretty good this time around, arcing over those walls. Certainly superior to the last couple of times we brought them to these sieges, though to be fair, we have a tendency to keep them either back or otherwise have them climb the walls, but this seems to be working out quite nicely as well. Realm of the Dead has also activated. I believe this is the second one, unless I'm mistaken. We still have a new Ushabti summon coming for us, I believe. Not that it'll be too much of a problem, unless the Ushabti summon already happened and died somewhere. It's not like these guys are really all that threatening right now. We just have a few units having moved in, but we do summon more pink horrors on the field to block the enemy, while our own pink fire support both of the regular shots and the casting variety comes down. Very good. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. That's why you want to have those pink horrors. Finally, they're really working for us. Although they are probably doing a little bit of damage to our own units. I imagine that we'll have done more damage to ourselves than the enemy will have done by the end of this. Let's also check back on the flyers who are still searching for enemies. And looky, an enemy unit of skeleton horse archers. Not a great matchup against screamers alone, much less screamers together with doom knights. As long as we can actually force them to get engaged rather than keep running away. And then we'll see. The AI is really annoyingly, irritatingly good at keeping its units not engaged despite being attacked. Whereas the player's unit, one single horseman gets trapped and then the entire unit refuses to obey you forever. Also looks like Kairos has killed the enemy lord here with a further blue fire spam in the same way that he has done to the catapults as well as the Tomb Scorpion, and the battle is very much in our favor now. Indeed, I think most of the enemy threatening units are done for. There's a lot of infantry still remaining, but other than these units of Ushabti and this unit of Sepulchral Stalkers, who will be dead shortly, especially as they're now being attacked by our summoned Lord of Change and Kairos, look at them working together. A nice little preview for what we will have later in the game when Kairos gets his 4 Lords of Change, or 6, I haven't decided 4 or 6 yet. At least 4 Lords of Change. Though of course this army has to change quite a bit by the time that we get to that part. But we're getting there. I mean, there's probably only a few turns left until we've got our necessary military buildings built. I'm not very close to here, but we can always ferry our units in the same way that we're doing with Voljax and his iridescent, or not iridescent, rather, his exalted pink horrors. Anyway, our flyers are done with the isolated units in the background. They're now going to hit the Ushabti and the Sepulchral Stalkers in the back. The Ushabti are pretty much done, and I imagine the Sepulchral Stalkers, trapped between Kairos, Chaos Knights, Doom Knights, and all the Sante Large, are going to fall. Looks like our fire support is also no longer very much necessary, because there's not really many targets to shoot at. And I think this is the one time that we didn't really use our flamers, but to be fair, it would have probably been a little bit dangerous to get them in here, especially with the pink horrors firing as they were. Not that, of course, we needed them. Plus, it's nice to let the pink horrors shine a little bit more, rather than the flamers taking all of the glory. Well, them and Kairos. And here we go, another little charge by the Doom Knights. I'm actually not sure why they did that. Why did some of them charge through? Maybe they were trying to charge one of these units and just decided to separate from the rest of their forces. But it matters not, because the battle is just about over. The last of the enemy units moving in, and hey, even a little bit more pink fire support. But I do believe that the entire enemy army should start crumbling any second now. Another unit of Necropolis Knights, cute. We're gonna Gaze of Fate them so that they don't charge our Flyers, our Screamers, and our Doom Knights in the back, as they could obviously be vulnerable to something like the Necropolis Knights. And then we can even put an Infernal Gateway on top of the Necropolis Knights, and it actually sucks larger units like Necropolis Knights in as well? I hadn't realized that. I thought that would only affect infantry, and as we saw, Kairos got a nice blue Fires of Tzeentch right on top of them, and Look at that. Just after that spell, the entire unit essentially crumbles and is destroyed together with the rest of the army. Damn, that was a beautiful Infernal Gateway. I think that was my favorite use of the spell so far. And just because I wasn't expecting the Necropolis Knights to get sucked in and trapped like that. I think the Gaze of Fate ended about halfway through. I would be curious to see how much they can move when that happens, if at all. Very interesting. Gonna have to try to experiment with that a little bit more. Maybe on a cavalry unit that doesn't start in Gaze of Fate. But still, look at them all died in a really close together blob like that. Anyway, a close victory. Close victory? What the heck are you talking about? No, I don't think we took any damage here. Like, maybe a few of our units got a little bit hurt from pink fire shots, but we... I don't know, let's see. I guess oh, it's because of ammunition loss. The pink horrors all pretty much ran out of ammunition. We still had pretty much half of our Winds of Magic remaining, so it had to have been the ammunition expenditure. Alrighty, there we go. Extremely minimal losses and some very nice fire support from the pink horrors this time around. Good job, little guys. Let us occupy this place and get a free sword of striking. Alrighty, what do we have here? Flicker of potential, useless. No potential at all. And I guess we can immediately... Considering this growth is fairly slow, I think we immediately switch to the Dark Bastion instead. And yeah, we could get more Tzeentch corruption via this, but frankly, by taking Fires and Kofor, Kairos is going to be here for a while, and he's going to be Tzeentching up the place anyway. Actually, speaking of, let us control the Winds of Magic, which is a type of Tzeentching up. And I believe that was it, unless I'm mistaken. Yes, okay, that's good. Let us continue with whatever it is what we were doing. There is nobody else left to move this turn. There's probably or potentially something to be built. Oh wow, barrier idols. Generates no money. Could build up a next level of wall here. We could build up a next level of wall at Khemri. I feel like we should just spend the money. Ooh, Numos. Next up, no! Save that for Khemri, not for Numos. Almost played myself. And I think that's about it. Also, our research at 403, getting there. Very, very close to being done. Ooh, looks like most of these are actually at 1 turn left. Very nice. Other than Iridescent Touch, everything here is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 turns until all research complete at turn 111. Not bad at all, considering we never used the Steel Tech ability a single time. One of the great things about Tzeentch and those commandments. Though unfortunately, it's good for early game. Later into the game, this commandment becomes completely useless because research rate does nothing. Chance of winds changing in strength plus 25 minutes, fine. But it also doesn't really do much. Yeah, I guess everything will go to Grimoires. Well, the Grimoires will be useful at the very least. And I mean very useful, though some things like Break Alliance cost like 10,000 Grimoires against certain factions without Tzeentch corruption, so fairly unlikely, I gotta say. Anyway, let's end this turn and let's proceed. No Scriveners of Insanity, and it would be pointless to use this, although I'm almost tempted to pop Magic Flare on Fire. I'm mostly worried about getting him fighting like 3 stacks belonging to the lizards while he's still damaged, because we remember how long it takes to heal these armies, so that's what has me concerned. But I guess we shall see. Let's end the turn. And complete another bit of research. Income from raiding. Not that we'll ever likely use that. Also, while the turn is ending, I don't remember if I mentioned this already, but in the community tab on the channel, there's currently a vote being done as to the next couple of campaigns, so for those interested, please do leave your vote for that. Several of the particular factions, I really don't want to say which factions are ahead right now, are ahead, but not by that many votes, so it can still very much change at the time of this recording. Alrighty, and what do we have here? In the darkest recesses of the lost Athenium is a millennia-old hidebound grimoire. Upon its cover is an agonized face, forever weeping fresh blood. Alas, its ancient pages crumble at your touch. This primordial tome can muster but one last spell before it disintegrates. Corvum gets Whispering Skull or 1,000 Fingers. Enemy... yeah, you gotta go for 1,000 Fingers. I don't think Corvum is actually supposed to be part of an army, though, which has me kind of concerned. Where is Corvum? I don't know why I went there. What the heck is this? Oh, Garrulus. You're actually going to be immortal permanently. You're never going to ascend. You're our Forsaken Lord. In many ways. Right? This is the same Garrulus. I'm just concerned that this is referring to another Garrulus. Yeah, okay. I spurn your offering. All gifts from the Chaos Gods come at a price this one is not willing to pay. He's seen what happens with the Forsaken and the Spawn, and this does not want to change himself. Settlement besieged, all high... Are you kidding me? These guys besieged as soon as we ended the turn. Damn. Well, that's annoying, but I guess we'll fight... Wait, actually... Why would you do this? Like, sure, we suffer a turn of attrition, but both of your armies are now in march stance and gonna get absolutely destroyed by Kairos very shortly. Technology research income from rating plus 50% sure. Magic item drop chance for Corvum, who also has Strategist. Unlikely to be using him, but yeah, you're still going to Nagashazar, buddy. I want to see if the faction there is still in fact alive, and whether these guys are fighting them or not, and if they're not fighting them, why aren't they fighting them, damn it? Alrighty, well, otherwise, what do we have here? You're going to try to take Garrulus's stuff, aren't you? Which means going around. Alrighty, well, I think then Garrulus... Oh, it's gonna take way too many turns, isn't it? Garrulus, I guess you're going back around this way. We'll have to try to protect Bitterstone Mine, so let's get those walls up and running there immediately while we're at it. And let's level up things here. Already generating an okay amount of money out of Ekrund, even though it isn't built. And Garrulus, just go here. I assume these guys will land, and I'd love for them to fight you. Though I'd love for them to fight you with your new stuff more. And actually, wait, are we able to get the Screamers in here? No, only via global recruitment. Sadly. And you have a War Shrine, so I don't think we need another one. Okay, well, you can just stay as you are. Next up, what do we got? Who do we move? Ooh, Vindex and Voljax. And Iber. Wait, how do we want to do this exactly? I think Vindex was the one that we wanted to get the kill on Thorek. And we could but we also have to transfer Vindex some of the stuff that you have in your army. So honestly, it will make no difference, will it? So we should just have you attack it then. Alrighty, Voljax, move right here. You can transfer your troops after. And go, go, go. Alrighty, decisive victory, low casualties, unsurprisingly. And occupy the place. Wailing Banner, meh. Definitely meh. And now, you. What were you going to trade to this army? All the pink horrors. These are going to Kairos and then coming back, though I guess we'll probably get some exalted pink horrors in this army as well. You can have 1 unit of flamers and the units of screamers. I'm actually now wondering whether we should put a couple flamers in Iber's army. It could come in handy. I mean, all of these guys, well, 4 of them are going to get replaced by Chosen. You are all going to replace by Knights and Doom Knights, although is 2 Doom Knights really enough? Could maybe use another Doom Knight, and maybe a Cultist as well. But then we have, like, no ranged whatsoever. And I feel like we should get at least some range, so maybe the couple of units of Flamers would still be okay here. Probably of better use than 3 pink horrors. Yeah, I think that's the better way. And then we can get Warp Fire and then Hammer into Anvil for cavalry. Does Hammer into Anvil level up Doom Knights? I guess we'll see at some point. Alrighty, now Iber, the question for you is whether you try to move out or not, since you're not needed here anymore. You know what I think we'll do? We'll put you here, and in camp stance. I'm not sure that we want to ambush, necessarily. Because if we ambush... Man, yeah, I'm worried about what Thork is going to do. If he runs away, it's not so good for us. Because we want to get the defeat trait on him. Well, I guess we'll see what happens afterwards. Now I guess the question is whether we try to attack with Kairos, or whether we try to attack with this. Now we could spend another turn sieging, which would give us another siege tower. You know what, I feel like we just attack now. We probably don't have the time to attack both with Kairos and with fire, and this should be a sufficiently different battle to warrant attacking right now. That's probably the better thing to do, so let's do that. Fire, time to attack. One set of siege towers will hopefully be sufficient, but we will, however, do changing of the ways and open up a gate. Does it open all gates? Open the gates, so all of them will be open at once? Alright, well, let's find out. Good. Kairos may not have ever needed this, but fire certainly can use it. And let's get a Lichbone Pennant on, well, then you. And then the War Banner can go on somebody... Let's put it on you, I guess. In case you get hit or chased down by an eagle or something like that. Get to it. Alrighty, well, this should be a pretty interesting battle. We're going to start off by getting a Tzeentch's Firestorm and down on this enemy blob that was in the corner here, and I think this is a pretty good use of it. The annoying thing about the spell is usually it goes off in too many directions, but because of the walls here, both the cliffside as well as the actual wall, they would bounce off of that and then come back through the enemy. And I feel like perhaps that's one of the only situations where I would prefer to use that spell over Infernal Gateway. As we can see, it basically killed a unit of Lothern Seaguard and a unit of Skink Skirmishers, and nearly halved a unit of Saurus Warriors, and a little bit of damage to some archers, and another unit of Lothern Seaguard. Not too bad, especially as, well, I suppose the spell usually only works in massively blobbed up enemies, and to be fair, there was a decent amount of blob here, but not a crazy amount. Now obviously the enemy has the major advantage of having good towers here, and these are the scary version of the High Elf towers, aren't they not? And they're certainly bringing down our poor siege towers extremely quickly. Not enough for even one of them, unfortunately, to reach. I think perhaps what I should have done is started the siege towers a little bit closer to here, towards the forest, even more on the edge, and tried to go here. Maybe that would have prevented a few more of the enemy towers from dishing out the damage, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out. So, our Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch that were in the tower that got destroyed are now at, well, let's say 15%, pretty badly beat up, and then this other unit is a little bit better. And by a little bit, I mean kind of reversed in terms of HP, but it's going to go down very quickly like this. They were able to get out of the tower before the tower got destroyed, but that won't prevent the towers and the ranged units from ripping them apart. So in fact, because of that, I decided to change the strategy here. We were here sieging with the hopes of avoiding massive amounts of casualties. So while these two units get quote-unquote sacrificed, they're going to move off the map, we are going to keep the rest of our army, the ones that can't be spotted, here behind or in the trees and hidden. Instead, we're going to try this a different way. Our doggos, our warhounds, or fleshhounds rather, of Khorne, together with our 2 units of Chaos Knights, have gone through the open gates and are now into the enemy city, while the enemy has concentrated its entire army where our own massive army was concentrated, which is kind of interesting that they did this at all, considering everybody here was hidden, right? So why didn't the AI spread out across their entire wall? How would they know that these guys are here? Because they started the battle hidden. Cheaty AI, very cheaty. Although I suppose they could have deployed that way thinking because of these two towers here. But I think they could have seen at least one of the... The doggos were hidden, but I don't think the knights were. So I'm not sure. Maybe the knights were as well. If that was the case, then yeah. Either way, it's not going to hopefully matter since the attack on the walls is more or less a bust. We're going to head directly towards that victory plaza with our Chaos Knights. Gotta adapt sometimes. It is the Tzeentchian way. Alrighty, riding on these nice elven cobblestones. And let's see, we've got a tier 2 tower here that we should be able to bring it down with fire over here. And we're at the Victory Plaza, and the enemy is certainly not. We should probably have at least captured it by the time their forces arrive, and we can see them all now rerouting away from those walls. Now, if this fails, if this aspect fails, fortunately, our units are fast, and they can get the heck out. And once the enemy has completely abandoned the walls, we can move the rest of our army forward to go over it or through the gate here and enter the city. So either way, this essentially forces the AI to move into the center of their city where they don't want to be, because they're not holding anything. And then we're still going to try to give it a capture. I definitely haven't won a lot of battles doing this. Only occasionally. Usually I only do this when I feel like I really have to win a battle, as in it's absolutely necessary to win and we can't chance getting badly damaged or losing, and this is somewhat that scenario. Mostly a unit preserving element to it, rather than necessitating the win. We don't necessarily have to win, but hey, this is a mechanic and we're gonna use it. Anyway, Fire rather. Have I been calling him Kairos? Fire has destroyed the piercing tower here, and now we're safe, although I guess the tower could have also fallen when the Victory Plaza was destroyed. Not entirely sure about that. Looks like an eagle has come a-calling and is trying to chase down Mr. Aquila the Reckoner. Oh, that's ironic. The eagle's chasing down Aquila. That's ironic. Well, he's gonna fail. We dropped Aquila and his disc down to the ground, and then immediately surrounded the eagle with all of our knights and with fire as well. Should be able to kill him fairly quickly. Or at the very least, rout him if he can get out of the press. He's already below half HP, wavering, terrified, and not going to be viable much longer. We're going to Gaze of Fate the eagle as well, in order to prevent it from running away, with the hopes of either killing it or otherwise at least shattering it. Now, oh, I hadn't realized that these guys who have have some nice color scheme. Oh well. Alrighty, so we're going to separate one of our units of Chaos Knights, charge these spears in the back, and then the doggos are going to hit them in the rear and work on them. These guys are already shaken, winded down to half HP and dropping. And they'll be out of here shortly. Now, let's see what else the enemy has in this. Well, they've got a lot more units coming in now. Some White Lions, some Saurus Warriors, and then a bunch of support units. So these guys are at least threatening, though we are now at halfway to victory by virtue of capping this place, and we still have the other unit of Fleshhounds held in reserve. I think this is going okay. I'm gonna move Fire in together with the Chaos Knights here to try to block additional units. Mainly we just need to keep them off the Victory Plaza in order to prevent them from trying to cap it back. Just keep distracting the enemy units as they move in, and then once they've blobbed up nicely, the Saurus, the White Lions, and the Silver Helms here can all get hit by another Infernal Gateway. I really love this spell. If you don't have Pit of Shades, you might as well use Infernal Gateway. I love it. And that looks like it did quite the number on them. The White Lions, the Silver Helms, and the Saurus Warriors all destroyed with that single spell, and now we're at 60%-ish towards victory. And very, very nice. And still, no enemy units are able to move through. We've blocked another one of the enemy spears from trying to get to our victory plaza, and once all these melee units are dead, we can start working on those range units, and even push outward from the victory plaza as well. Do have to watch out as there is a unit of Silver Helms moving in, but we do have our own cav and stuff to counteract that. Alrighty, I'm not sure why these archers are moving into melee, but perhaps they really are now desperate to try to regain that victory plaza, and that does make sense since we're 75 to 80% in favor of us. And now we could just charge through. Fire could also go back if he wanted to, but now we could just keep the enemy further and further away. We don't even need the rest of the army, it looks like. Charge down those poor archers. There we go, very, very nice. And the Saurus here don't even want a part of this. They were just here to man the outpost. They weren't here to die for these elves. Alrighty, and then back here the Silver Helms did manage to clip one of our units of Flesh Hounds as they moved in, but the Knights caught them, and then the other units of Flesh Hound should start working on them as well. I really like this color scheme on this particular Elven faction. I still think Imric has the best color scheme of all the Elven factions, but these guys are pretty good. Imric still wins though, and there we go, just like that, the entire enemy army routs as the victory plaza becomes 100% ours. A little bit of a tease in terms of this particular siege, but I think that there wasn't any need to suffer any damage here because once again, we really needed to be able to heal up and be able to fight all of those lizard armies very shortly. Still, it's nice to get one of these wins on occasion, and just to, you know, engage in some Tzeentch shenanigans. Alrighty, well there we go. Perhaps not the way that I had initially intended to take the settlement, but certainly a very Tzeentchian way to do so. So I'm still happy with it. Plus, you gotta stick it to the high elves when you can. So there we go. We're gonna occupy the place. Ooh, 10k would be lovely, but we can't have it. Alright, and once again we start off with a dimensional rift, though once again it would probably be better if we started off with the other thing, but that's okay, we can always swap it out. In fact, we might as well start swapping it out right now. It's not like we're going to be building any military buildings here. Alrighty, well, that's about it. Unfortunately, we are out of time with that particular battle, but we should be able to destroy this faction pretty much at the start of next episode by taking out the Dusk Peaks. They do still have a full stack out there somewhere, and maybe it'll come back. Maybe it's currently going across the sea to try to attack us here. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Kairos will begin next episode by attacking Arcan and all these armies and destroy him with his magical artillery, as he likes to do, and then we'll see if we can't get Garrulus to fight Viola Nord back here with oh, it's a lot of man-eaters. This is actually going to be a tough army. Yeah, well, we'll see about taking that out next time as well, so stay tuned for more Kairos. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.